Hello and welcome to this video where I'm going to talk about how to release the fear of speaking English. What we talk about in this video will be of most use for you if you are already at a higher upper intermediate to advanced level of English. I'm really going to talk about what fear is, how we can release it, some practices that might help, and then I'll offer a mindfulness journey that you can join me very briefly in at the end. If we haven't met, my name is Sarah. I'm the founder of Free Your English. I've been an English teacher for over 25 years, a creative facilitator, and also a communication coach. And it's really my passion and joy to help people open up to greater levels of self-expression and ability to communicate in English. Okay, so what is fear? Well, if I were to parrot ideas that I've heard before, I could describe it in two different ways. And just briefly before I do, some of the words that I use that I think might be of use to you, like to parrot something, which means to repeat other people's ideas, I'll put them in the description, and also I'll put an invitation to use a tool that will help you develop your vocabulary and integrate those words into your active vocabulary. But if I were to parrot other people's ideas around fear, I might use two acronyms that really resonate with me. The first one is an acronym being when each letter represents a word in the idea that's being expressed. So fear, F-E-A-R, has been described as false evidence appearing real. False evidence, so things that are actually not true. Mark Twain said, "I have had many worries in life, most of which have not come true." And that quote really resonates with me because a lot of my mental space personally in my life has been taken up with fears and worries and concerns and stresses that bubble up all the time or live there continually, that actually haven't yet impacted me. And the more that I can put energy onto the things that are actually impacting me and moving through those, the more energy I have, versus when I put focus and energy into things that actually are not real at the moment in my life, but I'm just worried that they might be. That, for me personally, has been a big energy leak. We have a phrase in the English-speaking world where we say that a problem or a fear or a concern is living rent-free in our brain. So an issue living rent-free means that it's taking up space in our sacred space, our mental space, and it's not serving us. It's not something that is helping us. It's kind of stealing from us, as if we have an unwanted guest living rent-free in our house. So some of the fears that my clients have had that are living rent-free in their head are things like the fear of being judged by fellow first language speakers. So people who speak the same first language as you, that you perhaps work with in a professional capacity, what are they going to think when I speak English? If I make a mistake with my pronunciation, they're going to judge me. I'm going to feel lesser than. That's a big fear that's present for a lot of people. Also, the opposite fear of that, if you will, the fear of being judged by native speakers, the fear of not being understood by a native speaker, the fear of saying something offensive unintentionally, saying the wrong thing at the wrong time in the wrong way, the fear of not being able to express yourself or be seen as the leader that you are, to not have your ideas land with the impact and influence that they deserve, or just the fear of not having the words to rely on when you need them. Personally, the biggest gift of my life has been my ability to rely on my words when I need them in my own language of English. And that's been a gift that, goodness, it's carried me through many difficult situations. It's given me confidence when I had none. It's really been a gift in my life. But when I lived in Brazil and I was communicating and sometimes working in Portuguese, I really experienced what it feels like to not have a level of skill that I was accustomed to. Um, One particular incident stands out at a baby shower where I was asked to write a message on a card that was being passed round. And I realized that, goodness, I can speak okay in this informal situation, but I can't write anything that I would be certain would be appropriate and reflective of the level of expression that I normally have. So and other situations that came up where I was speaking to a client who wanted to take English classes with me, and I just had great difficulty in arranging simple things like getting her email address. I was struggling to, on the phone, hear what she was saying her email address was and write it down. It was just a disconnect of skills where I could help her, I could have the conversation, I could function while speaking with her, but there was just areas of missing knowledge, and where I felt a great level of stress for being less than in that moment, and it really made me frozen to the point where I just couldn't remember the alphabet as she was saying to me to write down what the email was. I was just frozen and I couldn't process it. So I've really experienced firsthand what it feels like when all these fears bubble up of not being able to function at the level that we're accustomed to functioning at. And so I know what that feels like. And I know that sometimes it feels like nothing will help because it's such a big thing that nothing will make the difference. And I'm just here to say that yes, you can make a difference by working on your ability to regulate your nervous system, expand your capacity to feel that fear, and regularly allowing space for you to reflect and think, is that true? Is it true that I can't communicate in Portuguese in those situations? No, I could have tried, but I didn't allow myself to. I got stuck. Is it true that I can't improve? No, I can improve. So false evidence appearing real is one aspect of fear. The other, talking about expanding our capacity to allow fear, the other is relevant that you can look at fear as an invitation to feel everything and rise. So the more that you resist, like, I don't want to feel anxious and stressed. I don't want to feel lesser than, so I'm going to avoid that situation. The more that you resist, the more that something persists. Now, again, that's not my idea. That's an idea that is floating around in our collective consciousness quite a lot. But if you continually push against, like, I cannot do that, it's a big thing in my life, it's not possible for me to break through, you are resisting against this feeling of, I don't want to feel like that, I don't want to be stressed, I don't want to be in situations where I feel like that. It's not opening up to allow yourself to feel the stress, feel the anxiety, recognize it's just a feeling that will pass through, will float by. And on the other side of that is an ability to give it a try in that situation, be calm in that situation. So feel everything and rise. Allow ourselves to feel our emotions, our stresses in the moment, our embarrassment or shame after. Just allow whatever it is to be there and to pass through, and to say, that's part of the process. I'm willing to feel the anxiety. I'm willing to feel the stress. I'm willing to feel the shame after. if I feel like I'm judging myself, and I'm willing to get to the other side where I'm proud of myself for giving it a go. And I know that the more I do that, the easier it will become. Speaking of which, giving yourself the opportunity to speak spontaneously at higher levels is really important. Giving yourself a chance to practice in a safe space, allowing that fear to be present, moving through the stress or shame or whatever comes up, and just practicing, that's very, very important. You can do that on your own by having some high-level input, a film or podcast or piece of reading, and then expressing an opinion about it at a high level, and just allowing yourself to keep going even if you mess up, and allowing the fear to come and for you to move through it. That's important. You can do it on your own. If you want to do it in a group, I offer a membership where we practice this daily. We have a practice of centering ourselves, coming into our personal power, doing some English input, and then practicing expressing an opinion on it and allowing ourselves to speak spontaneously. You're welcome to join the Elevate membership if that's of interest to you. But you can also do this on your own just by allowing yourselves daily moments of spontaneous speaking. Okay, so fear is going to be present. We can allow ourselves to move through it. The more that we practice, the more that we do that, then we get to a different level. It's really important to know what calm feels like in your body, because your body will go with you into the meeting or onto the stage or wherever it is. And if you can know what you feel like within yourself when you are centered and calm and grounded, then that's a big gift that you give yourself, the chance to come back to that centeredness in any situation. And that is something that you create, you cultivate within yourself. And so mindfulness practices of various different kinds can be really useful for doing that, which is a good segue now into a very brief mindfulness journey that I will offer for you. Let's do it. Let's walk into the forest and take a brief moment to pause, connect with ourselves, and reflect upon our connection with nature. And also, this is an opportunity to reflect upon the element of play and how it shows up in your life. Play is something that refreshes our creative expression, allows for a dissipation of fear and stress, and just helps to bring our expression alive. Take a moment as well to just imagine yourself dropping any fears, concerns, or worries into this river as if it's a leaf falling in autumn, and imagine it floating away, changing and transforming into golden sparkling light, disappearing. The water song is from the Algonquin First Nations elders of Canada. They sing this song like a lullaby. The song means the water is the life's blood of our mother the earth. Water is the life's blood of our own body. Ibi wabo endayan akineski ibi wabo heya 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 hey heya hey